completely felt like I was going to be killed. Everything did flash in front of me, everything.
Captured on surveillance camera, security guard Seth Eklund points a gun at Sheriff Deputy Alan Gaston while the deputy on duty was visiting the Toledo IRS office.
Nobody's seen anything like this. You don't see a security guard pulling in on a fully uniformed officer, pulling a gun.
The incident happened on May 31st. Gaston, a defensive tactics instructor, says he had questions about an IRS letter and was there to get a phone number.
He said, "You're going to have to take your gun and duty belt off." And I said, "Well, I can't do that." I said, "Do you have a gun locker where I can lock it in? I'd be willing to do that." And he said no, and I noticed that he was getting a little angry.
At that point, the sheriff deputy says he was asked to leave. In the meantime, an IRS employee threatened to call 911.
911, where's your emergency?
Yeah, we got a taxpayer at the IRS office at 433 North Summit that has a gun and he won't leave the premises.
Eklund then tells Gaston to take his hand off of his gun. In a police report, the deputy said only his forearm was resting against the gun because of his casual stance. Feeling uncomfortable, Gaston says he tried to leave, at which point the security guard tries to detain him.
He came around that corner with the gun out. "You better stop, you better stop. I swear to God, stop." And he goes into that position, which is this one right here. I'll never forget that position. And as I'm looking at him, I just need to get to the door. First and foremost, again, the civilians were very scared.
It was the first time the deputy of 34 years had ever had a gun pointed at him. The deputy believes the security guard's actions were racially motivated.
The fact that he called 911 and never mentioned it was a deputy sheriff. And the fact that I feel that this security guard wanting to put cuffs on me and detain me, which is completely so far-fetched. I can't comprehend that he would think that. I felt like he didn't even see the uniform. All he saw was color.
I believe he's a black male. He's heading downstairs now.
We have video of literally Deputy Gaston putting his hands up like this. "We don't need to guess." So these comments in the 911 call in terms of not identifying a deputy sheriff being in the office, but a black man with a gun is, as you asked the question, that sounds racist to me.
The security guard followed the deputy to the elevator. That's when Gaston pulled out his phone and took a photo of Eklund holding the gun. It's only then he holstered his weapon. The Blade reached out to the IRS and it declined to comment, as did Eklund's lawyer and the sheriff's office. The security guard's former employer, Paragon Systems, did not return our calls. Sheriff Deputy Gaston is now on sick leave after filing a civil lawsuit against Eklund and his former employer.
The counts itself are assault and battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and false imprisonment. Those are the claims.
Meanwhile, Deputy Gaston is receiving therapy for the psychological damages he says the incident caused. But he hopes to return to work at some point, thankful to still be alive.
Sometimes I don't know what to think sometimes, but I do find myself going back to what if a lot.
In Toledo, Roxanne Elias, The Blade.